We understand that a Thai Navy SEAL diver has died trying to save 12 boys and a coach trapped in a cave system in Thailand. I want to show you a map, a visual of what we're talking about here, because you get a sense of exactly what these crews have been dealing with, starting from the entrance there, trying to get to this location where these 12 boys and their coach are located. We understand that this Navy SEAL diver died during the rescue operation, died around 2 a.m. in Thailand after running out of air on his way back to the underground center from the boys' location. Let's bring in now CNN's Matt Rivers following the story in Chiang Rai in northern Thailand. And Matt, we get a sense now of just how difficult, how dangerous it is for these crews to get down there and get these boys and the coach out safely.
Yeah, that's exactly right, George. I mean, it's really a heartbreaking example, to be honest, of the challenge, the monumental challenge the rescuers are facing here. Let's just walk our viewers through the details of what we know so far. There was a press conference here with some top authorities who are running this operation where they confirmed this death. Now, it was a former Thai Navy SEAL, someone who used to be a diver in the Navy, plenty of experience, had since transitioned to civilian life, but there are plenty of people here just like him. It's not only active duty military here assisting here, it's also former Thai Navy divers, Thai Navy SEALs, and so he was a former Navy SEAL. Now, what he was doing was what many other divers are doing right now. What they're doing in anticipation of perhaps having to bring these children out at some point is what they're doing is putting oxygen tanks stationed along a rope that goes all the way from the entrance, all the way underwater, under the caverns, all the way to where the children are, just in case they have to do this. They're putting oxygen tanks along the way to make sure that no one runs out of air if they have to do that route. What this diver was doing was taking an oxygen bottle and securing it in one of those caverns. We don't know all of the details, but at some point, it appears that the diver ran out of oxygen himself, passed out. His buddy, everyone dives with a buddy, so his buddy tried to bring him, tried to resuscitate him, tried to get him back, eventually brought him out to where the underground headquarters is at this point, and that's where he was pronounced dead. This happened around 2 a.m. local time, and that's about all the detail we have now, George. But to your point, this is an experienced diver. This is someone who was a diver with the Thai Royal Navy. This is not a novice. This is a professional, or at least a former professional, and he lost his life in these caves. So if you're wondering how risky an operation could be involving these children, some of whom can't even swim, let alone have any diving experience, if you're wondering how risky that operation is, all you need to do is look at this latest example, a tragic example, someone who heroically gave his own life trying to save the lives of 13 people trapped just up over that hill behind me in the cave entrance. George?
Matt Rivers pointing out this former Thai Navy SEAL dying, pointing out also the deputy governor has added that he died while performing his duty. Matt, let's get a sense as well. We're going on now 13 days, right? These boys, this coach in this area, in this cave system. What has been the situation for them so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's just been a monumental challenge for everyone involved here. I mean, on the one hand, inside the cave, you've got 13 individuals who for 9 days, remember that, George, for 9 days, they didn't know if anyone was looking for them. They didn't know if they were going to be found. They were in darkness. They didn't have food. And so it was an incredibly difficult situation. And then you had the jubilation, right, of them being found. Just a couple days ago, it was an unbelievable scene. People were thrilled, and rightly so. But then the reality of the situation set in. And now you have the other side of the coin here, where, yes, these boys and their coach, relatively okay. Of course, they're malnourished. Of course, they're exhausted. They're mentally tired. But getting them out, that's no guaranteed thing. I mean, we see it here with this death of the former Navy SEAL. And there's not a lot of good options here. In fact, there are no good options. The one option that they're hoping will happen is that the water levels drop enough in the cave where the boys can actually walk out. That seems relatively unlikely, but the weather is holding right now. No rain over the past day or so. They continue to pump water out, so if they can get the water levels down, maybe that's an option. Seems unlikely. So if that doesn't happen, well, maybe you put them in scuba gear and you get them out that way. But we've belabored the point now. That's incredibly dangerous, of course. And so then the other option is, well, do they wait out the rainy season inside the cave underground? That could take months. The rainy season here lasts for months. Are you willing to put boys and their coach underground for that long of time. What if they get sick? What happens if their food supply gets cut off? What happens if you can't communicate with them? What happens if the water rises enough where they run out of high ground? Those are all questions that we don't have the answer to, and those are the questions that are facing authorities. And that's why this is such a brutally difficult situation, George, because what authorities are looking at here is option A, option B, option C. They're all bad, and clearly now, with the death of a professional diver, we are shown how difficult this rescue could potentially be.
Matt, the juxtaposition of those facts you laid out. So you have a professional, this former Thai Navy SEAL. This is a guy who understood, you know, what it means to go down and dive in this type of technical situation. You have children, some of whom cannot swim. These two things matched together certainly highlight the difficulty. Stand by 1 second, Matt. Let's recap for our viewers who may just be joining us. The breaking news here on CNN this hour. A former Thai Navy SEAL has died in duty, trying to save these 12 boys and their coach trapped in a cave system in Thailand. Again, we want to show you this graphic because it demonstrates and explains exactly what these crews are up against. You see the command center there, then passing on to this area where these this football team, this young youth football team is located. We understand that this diver died during rescue operation, died around 2 a.m. in Thailand after running out of air on his way back to the underground center from the boys' location. Let's now bring back in our Matt Rivers, who's at the scene. And Matt, again, we understand crews have been pumping out a great deal of water. You mentioned that the weather conditions are holding up, but Matt, the concern here is that it seems the forecast show more rain could be on the way over the weekend.
And that's exactly right, and that's why we're talking about a window of opportunity here that is drastically closing. We've heard from divers that have been inside the cave that the conditions are actually getting better. Despite the death of this former Thai Navy diver, the conditions are actually getting better. The water is receding in some places. And so if you are going to try and get these boys and their coach out, there are a lot of experts who would say now would probably be the time to do so, because if you wait and the skies open up here, we saw how quickly this cave can fill up with water based on the fact that these boys and their coach are trapped in there in the first place. Water can rise extremely quickly. And so if you make the decision to wait and to hope for better weather conditions, and the weather conditions actually turn worse and the water goes back into the cave, then where are you left with? So that's what we're talking about here, with a limited time where authorities have the ability to make a proactive decision. And it is not an easy decision, and it will be second-guessed by the families, by the public, by the media. They are in an incredibly difficult situation here, trying to save the lives of the 13 people that are trapped in that cave. The weather is expected to turn back to rainy on Saturday, perhaps even more downfalls on Sunday. George, it's July in Thailand. This is the rainy season. The fact that it hasn't rained for a while now is kind of unusual. We are expecting rain this time of year for the next several months, and so that's what's weighing on the minds of these decision makers here. This is this limited time. They might have a limited chance here that they're trying to make something happen.